Welcome to a special edition of Gotta Love Connecticut Hockey. Today we sat down with two nationally recognized goalie coaches who are seen regularly in Connecticut rinks. Mackenzie Bruch was the goaltending coach for the 2022 U.S. Collegiate Women's Select Team that in August competed in a 3-game series against Team Canada. And Jared Waimon, who has been selected as the goaltending coach for the 2023 U.S. National Junior Team, which is our men's national under-20 team that represents the United States at the IIHF World Junior Championships. Hi, Mackenzie, and welcome.
Hi, thanks, Ken.
Can you tell us a little bit about that team and the experience that you had with them?
After the Women's Worlds team was selected, we selected from that remaining NCAA base, and then we brought them up to Calgary to play a similarly based team in Canada.
And how did it go?
It went really well. We lost that first night in a shootout and then came back the next 2 games and won clear. Goalies were awesome. All 3 goalies played really good numbers, so we're really happy about the future there.
Second coach we have with us today is Jared Waimon. He's going to be the goaltending coach for the World Junior Team. So Jared, what are you expecting that to be like?
It's going to be a high-pressure environment for sure. It's a highly regarded tournament with the IIHF, and United States has done quite well of late. We didn't win this last one that took place in Edmonton, but the year prior to that, with the 2001 birth class, the USA Hockey won. So there's very high expectations as always, and there's going to be excellent players. It's a best-on-best tournament, so a lot of work to be done.
As the goalie coach for that team, what kinds of things do you do with the goaltenders?
While we have a great scouting staff, I'll be alert to how the goalies are playing throughout the year, get a nice pool of our American-born goaltenders, monitor them, scout them to a degree, and then once we get on the ice, it's really important to find out what they're great at, and you want to really drive home those key points of what they're great at, because that's what's going to help carry them through the tournament, along with basic foundation and save structure, their approach to the position being as consistent as possible.
Yeah, what are some of the things you do with the goaltenders on Team USA?
With the collegiate team, because it's a subset of the women's national team, we work in conjunction with those goaltenders and the World's goalie coach, who this year is Ali Altman. We also look at some of their weak spots, so how is Canada scoring goals, how are we scoring goals on Canada, and how does that fit into each goalie's strengths and weaknesses, and try to go from there.
Why did you decide to get into coaching and being a goalie coach?
It started when I was in college, and it was a good summer job, and I certainly wasn't good enough to play hockey professionally, and I wanted to stay involved in the sport, so I continued trying to stay involved with the position via camps and clinics, and starting Pro Crease goaltending, and going from there, working with a number of colleges in Connecticut, and then now as a goaltending scout for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Similar to Jared, in college it was an awesome summer job. It allowed me to work with my goalie coach full-time and travel and get that one-on-one or small group time with him while also working for him.
So Jared, what do you think is the most fun about playing the goalie position?
For me, I'm a process and rigor type guy, so I enjoyed having clear purpose, and goaltending provides that. You have a black and white job, and you're able to put in a little work each day, get a little bit better each day, and you can see that progress through the games and in practices, and it gives you a short-term goal, I think. With goaltending, you can always work on something quick and little right now, and you can also be working on a bigger, longer-term goal at the same time.
What do you think are the personal traits or characteristics that make a good goalie?
Really, the number one characteristic is that you have to enjoy being a goalie and really enjoy hockey, because you do have the best seat in the house, and you get to learn a ton about the game. And if you're curious, that's really great also, because you can learn about the game, you can learn about the position. There's always something else that you can find out and learn.
And for me, the number one thing is you just have to want to do it. I think some goalies are really serious, and some like to have a lot of fun, and the serious goalies are having fun just in their own way, and just like the fun goalies are being serious in their own way. And I think in order to enjoy it and want to do it and be successful, you just have to want to be there. You have to like hockey and like going to the rink every day.
How do you think being a goalie impacts or makes a difference in your life, or does it?
Yeah, completely. Again, it comes back to immediate feedback You get immediate feedback if something worked, something didn't, and that happens in real life, and you have to respond on the fly. And then you're also getting continual feedback, things that happen over a longer period of time, and you can work towards a goal or try to change something. I feel like those are two big things that happen in life and in goaltending.
Did you know that there's a goalie shortage in Connecticut? Connecticut needs goalies for teams across the state. This season at Gotta Love Connecticut Hockey, we're going to bring you more information about the position, and hopefully you will seriously consider becoming a goalie. If you were talking to a youth hockey skater
Yep.
who had thoughts about maybe playing goalie, what would you tell them, or why should somebody consider that position?
Well, first you get to be on the ice the whole time, or at least half the time if you're splitting. You get a chance to make a difference every game. You're an impact player, no matter what. You have so much impact. You have so many opportunities to improve yourself. You have so many opportunities to improve your team. That if you're someone who wants to make a difference, it's a little microcosm, like we've been talking about with life, that you can have a small impact and a big impact on the people around you.
Yeah, I think, like, number one, if you think you might like something, you might as well try it. Like, you have nothing to lose. If you try it and you hate it, you never have to do it ever again. But you might try it and absolutely love it, and that might be something really cool for you forever, and maybe it's for right now and half a season, and maybe not. Like, you can always go back. So goalies, once you know how to skate and you keep working on your skating, it's not as difficult to transition back to being a player if you change your mind. And like Jared said, you're on the ice all the time. So even if your team does have two goalies, you might split games, or you might get a full game and the next game you get to play out. So I think it puts you in a really special spot to get to do a lot of different things, and a lot of different things than everybody else.
Another thing that comes into play when a child is thinking about playing goalie is how does the parent feel about it? I mean, what are some of the issues that parents have to deal with or think about if their child's being a goaltender?
Well, the first thing that needs to be addressed is the environment in which the goaltender or potential goalie is playing. So it's super important that if you're in an organization where you know there's a shortage of goalies, that everybody in that organization, management or the board of directors, the coaches, the players, and the other parents recognize that, and they have to be really, really positive with anyone who's trying goalie early on, and the organization needs to make it really clear that, hey, this is a nurturing environment. A mistake in net is the same as a mistake in the neutral zone. Everyone's learning, everyone's trying to get better.
Safety is a concern for some parents, obviously. It's the only position where the puck's supposed to hit you, and that's your only job, is to get hit by the puck. Usually we get out of the way of things in real life. The equipment is incredible. It's certainly more incredible than when I was playing hockey. Your child's wearing the proper gear and it fits properly, they won't be hurt. A lot of these hockey brands are making youth equipment to similar specs as pro equipment. And obviously a 10-year-old doesn't shoot anywhere near as hard as a 30-year-old. So there's that to keep in mind. Really, there's no checking if you're a goalie, so there's that to consider. Less concussion, as long as you can catch the puck. And then the other concern I would say sometimes is people they have this perception that a goalie is super isolated and not a part of the team. When in reality, that would be like saying the quarterback isn't a part of the team. Like, I think that goalie is kind of the anchor, and the team includes them, and they're in the locker room with them every day. They go through practice with them every day. They're in the car on the way to and from with all their teammates. I think it's a really unfortunate perception, but I think just because they're stuck in the crease as part of their job doesn't mean they're any less a part of the team.
Thanks, Mackenzie and Jared. And thank you for watching, because you just gotta love Connecticut hockey.